again, this time from the O'Brien Rink in Woburn, Massachusetts, bringing you game-time coverage of Tanner Girls Ice Hockey once again. I am Bernard Parisi with Peabody Access TV. The Tanners coming to this game riding high. They've won more playoff games in this tournament than they have in their team history. 2 consecutive wins, both shutouts by senior Abby Buckley. Their most recent win, a 4-0 victory over the St. Mary's Spartans, a vengeance game from last year's early playoff exit for the Tanners, on goals by Jess Robert and Sammy Mirasolo, both netting 2 on the game. As I said before, Buckley comes into this game. She's the starting netminder for Peabody. 2 consecutive playoff shutouts so far to her record. However, down the other end of the ice, they'll be taking on one of the hottest teams in the entire MIAA. That is the Tewksbury Methuen Red Rangers. The Red Rangers came into the playoffs. They were 18-1-1 on the regular season. They won their first-round playoff game 6-2, riding high on the offense of Julia Masota. Masota, a rather, for lack of a better phrase, a minuscule-sized center for the Red Rangers. 44 regular season goals to her credit this season, a total of 70 points. She is the main offensive threat for the Red Rangers. Expect to see her get factored in very much throughout the rest of this game. In net, they have, for their starting goaltender, it's going to be Kaya Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth, a junior, number 30, showing up with still a year left to go to her credit. She's proven to be one of the best young goaltenders in the entire Northeast. The Tanners came into the playoffs with a 15-4-2 regular season record. One of those games, an out-of-conference game versus Ursuline Academy, so many records will show 14-4-2. However, it is 15-4-2. I've been saying 14-4-2 for a few weeks now, so I apologize to the Tanners if they listen to this game after. We're taking a win out of the win column for you guys unintentionally. So they came in on a big offensive explosion the last 3 games. 21 goals scored, and their final 3 alone, including their annual Carlin Cup matchup, was a 9-1 victory over the Crusaders of Bishop Fenwick High School. The offense is led by the terrific junior winger Sammy Mirasolo. Mirasolo, number 8, was elected captain before this season began. She went on to tally 20 goals and 12 assists on the regular season. The best way to describe her is a fiery young winger. Seen her play a little bit more physical and with a little bit more emotional intensity this season. That's not to say that last year she didn't, but we're seeing some characteristics out of Mirasolo this year that we just really haven't seen out of her in her first 2 years. She shares a line with Maria Pierce and Paige Thibodeau, both incredibly talented scorers and wingers. Thibodeau kind of the gritty player on that line. She's not afraid to go lay a hit when she needs to. And Maria Pierce is the emerging young freshman. 11 goals, 15 assists to her credit on the regular season. Kind of reminds you of a young Sammy Mirasolo in her freshman year. The second line tandem for the Tanners is going to be expected. Actually, they're usually functioning as the starting line. It is Jess Robert, Kat DiGiulio, and Jen Flynn, 2 of which put up 10-plus goals, all of which put up 20-plus points on the year, a high for the team. I believe they scored 82 regular season goals, a step up from their 66 during last season, which was also my first season covering the team. Just a little side note, to think that the Tanners have made it to round 3 in just their 4th year under head coach Michelle Roach is something that, just like as I've said many times before, just 4 years ago, no one ever expected was going to happen. This team's hockey program was almost dropped altogether by Peabody High School because of a series of poor records and no tournament appearances. However, they hired Michelle Roach, and they decided to co-op with North Reading and Winfield High School, and many of their most talented players have come from such schools. We're going to be bringing you game-time coverage in just a few moments. This could be the last game. This is going to be the last game of the season for one of these teams, ladies and gentlemen. Who is it going to be? We're going to find out in just a few moments. A little over an hour left to someone's season, and we'll be right back with more Tanner Girl ice hockey action right here on Peabody Access TV.
North Reading and Methuen-Tewksbury. Now for your starting lineups, beginning with Peabody Linfield North Reading. In goal, number 31, Abigail Buckley. On defense, number 13, Catherine Sweeney. On defense, number 23, Sadie Gearing. At left wing, number 10, Jennifer Flynn. At center, number 28, Jessica Robert. And at right wing, number 17, Catherine DeJulio. PBD Linfield North Reading coach, Michelle Roach. And now your starting lineup for Methuen-Tewksbury. In goal, number 30, Kaya Hollingsworth. On defense, number 21, Maddie Sojek. On defense, number 7, Brenna Green. At left wing, number 4, Cassidy Glennon. At center, number 19, Julia Masoda. And at right wing, number 5, Lydia Pendleton. Methuen-Tewksbury head coach, Sarah O'Terry. Our great nation has persevered through leadership and sacrifices of men and women who are served or are currently serving in our armed forces. We invite both veterans and current military personnel to stand. We thank you for your service to our country. Now we invite all to stand for the playing of our national anthem.
Once again, a very moving rendition of our national anthem as we are just moments away from puck drop. The starting goaltenders, brought to you by PBD Access TV, are going to be Abigail Buckley, number 31, the senior captain for the PBD Tanners. Her counterpart down the other end is number 30, Kaya Hollingsworth, a junior. There's still a season left to go, and she's playing the season of her life. The team is 18-1-1 on the year. She has played the majority of those minutes. She started last round's playoff game, where the Red Rangers took, I believe it was a 6-2 victory over, I can't quite remember the opponent at the moment. The Tanners, 2 playoff games preceding this, they played against the Winthrop Vikings at home at the McVan-O'Keefe Rink in Peabody, Massachusetts in round 1, a 2-0 victory on goals by Kat DeJulio, followed up by their round 2, on the statute it says round 1 after the preliminary round, but for the sake of it, we're going to say round 2. Their round 2 match versus the St. Mary Spartans functioned as a rematch of last year's round 1 match between those two teams. And this time, it was the Tanners going home with the victory. They took the 4-0 victory, avenging their 2-0 shutout loss last year to the longtime Frank Pagliuca-led Spartan girls ice hockey team. Robert in on the faceoff with Masoda. 45 minutes, one team season will be over, and we're underway. First play to make are the Red Rangers. They move quickly up at center ice. Big skip move there. Masoda can't get it away. Flynn immediately in to break it up. The rink is absolutely jam-packed to capacity. The fan sections are all full. We got fans lining the glass to my left and right. Sent back down to the corner. Sadie Guerin, freshman defender, will go down to retrieve it. One of the best slap shots in the league. If she can get one out here, it could be huge for the Tanners. Back up high. Kept in onside by the Red Rangers. Good awareness to keep it in. Threw one around up front, and I think Buckley may have got her pad on it. It ricochets down into the neutral zone. Tanners will make a line change. The high-octane line is out. Mirasolo, Thibodeau, and Pierce. Ganter and Garofoli are on at defense. Ganter will go back and just try to send it out of the zone. The Tanners in the last couple play, at least in the second round playoff game where St. Mary's have adopted kind of a defense-first style of play to try to neutralize some of the high-octane offenses that they have played in the playoffs, and that is precisely what it seems like they're trying to do here early going as a shot goes wide of Buckley to the left. Down behind now, the Tanners trying to move. Can't get it out of the zone as Pierce will have to go back down with Ganter to retrieve. Missing it off the end boards. Into a body on the corner. Twirling around the defense. Pierce throwing the weight around. And we've seen out of Maria Pierce in the playoffs this year. She has really started to use the body to make her checks. Something we never really saw of her so much during the season. She functioned most often as a scorer. Really showing she's got some physical play to her style as Mirasolo sends a player down to the ice. No call coming. The Tanners will make another change, so the Robert Flynn to Julio line is out. Ganter and Garofoli are still on. Usually this line is out with Catherine Sweeney, and that one goes ricochets wide. Good awareness by the Tanner defense to clear the rebound. That could have been catastrophic in the early going. As I was saying before, that the top D pairing, what we've seen so far, are the freshmen, Sweeney and Guerin. Rather odd combination to see two freshmen on the same D pairing together, rather than not put either Ganter or Garofoli with them. As Guerin, speaking of, takes a little bit of a tumble down right in front of this camera mount. Throw it up front, rebound shot, what a save by Buckley from point-blank range. Back to the point, up high. And a look to set it up again. Nothing happening here. Just twirl it down behind. Sorry if you can't see the corner. There's fans all around me, so trying to keep the ice level, the ice surface in view of the camera. So I apologize if you can't see anything down to my left, folks, at the moment. Falling down, but still makes a good pass into the offensive zone of the Red Rangers. Good play by the defender who was falling down to twirl around and get the shot out. Mirasolo trying to show off her speed and maybe get a breakaway chance. You get a breakaway from Mirasolo, if you're a goaltender, you might as well just go to the locker room and just call it a night. If you get her 0-on-1 with you as a goaltender, you ain't going to stop her. She has one of the best backhanded dekes in the entire conference. Threw it up front. A good play by Sweeney to stick it out. Very promising freshman defender for the Tanners. Around behind now they go, trying to set something up is Methuen-Tewksbury. Probably just going to either refer to them as Methuen or Tewksbury throughout the game, so I feel like I'm going to get into a bit of a tongue twister if I have to say Methuen-Tewksbury so much during the game. Shot barely trickles wide of Buckley. Almost kept an onside race to get it. Mirasolo has it. She threw one across the crease. I think it may have been just barely deflected off of the pad of Hollingsworth. Robert around behind. Mirasolo's out with an unusual line. She hasn't been able to get off for a change as, nope, she must have gotten off when I wasn't looking because DeJulia is now skated into frame. Good move around the defense. Twirling up front, and it is sticked away by the Tanner defense. The Tanners really trying to help out Abby Buckley. Threw one up front, and nothing happening there. The big Achilles heel for the Tanners last year in the playoffs was they shot, saves it, and Buckley just rips it up out of the air. The Achilles heels for the Tanners last year in the playoffs was they seemed to rely too heavily on Abby Buckley. They were more focused on playing offense as opposed to trying to play tight defense against the St. Mary's team that is one of the best offensive teams that I've seen in recent memory, ladies and gentlemen. However, this year, it seems like in practice before the playoff games, head coach Michelle Roach in her fourth year has really emphasized playing tight defense so as not to put so much pressure on Abby Buckley. This one back up high, down low, playing a little catch with the defender. Back up high again, tossing it down low again. Into the middle, holding, shooting, and it's deflected in! Methuen gets her on the board. The Red Rangers strike first. It's none other than Julia Methuen, the 44 goal scorer for the Tewksbury Methuen Red Rangers.
55 seconds.
One of the smallest players on the ice has one of the biggest goals of the season. 1-0 Rangers in the first. I think that was deflected in from just in front of the net. Not quite sure. No, really no chance for Buckley to pull that one into her glove as we get the first goal brought to you by PBD Access TV off the stick of number 19 senior Julia Methuen. DeJulio threw one on net, and Hollingsworth will just glove it out of the air. That is the first goal, ladies and gentlemen, that Buckley has given up in this playoff tournament. First, she shut out the first two opponents in the playoffs this season, Winthrop and St. Mary's. That is the first goal that any team has put through number 31 of the Tanners. Threw it up front and no one there, else she had an open net to shoot at. Roach really trying to get the defenders involved in the offensive rushes, I've noticed. I've seen Gear and Ganter all set up in front of the net. Garofoli's the big physical presence, though. She's really spent a lot of time in front of the net rather than bouncing around up high as we hit 8:52 to go in the first period of round 3. Whoever wins this game will play in the semifinals, and the winner of that game will earn the right to play at TD Garden in Boston, home of the Boston Bruins, who, speaking of as we speak, later tonight as Mirasolo takes a tumble. And the Bruins later tonight at about 7 o'clock will be taking on the Florida Panthers at home at the TD Garden. Bruins riding a 17-game point streak, undefeated, or haven't lost a game in 17 tries. A couple overtime losses, but on the record, those won't count as regulation losses, however. Round to the corner they go. DeJulio, and this one is sent down the length of the ice. Buckley will just watch it go to her right, and we have an icing coming up on the Rangers. Probably just going to say Rangers for the rest of the game. So, as opposed to the first two games where the Tanners really dominated the offensive pressure throughout the early going, the ice has been tilted in the Rangers' favor. They've dominated the offensive rushes so far in the early going. Big change of pace for the Tanners. Not used to this playoff season. However, their offense is known. They can explode at any time. 4 players on this team with 10-plus goals on the year. I think about 5 or 6 players with 20-plus points on the year. Down into the corner, race to get the puck. Sweeney in to retrieve, trying to feed it across. Guerin will try to clear it, but it is kept in onside. These forwards for the Rangers are small and quick. That is the advantage that they have over Peabody. They're very fast, very aware. The puck never stays on one stick for more than a couple seconds at any given time. Very good point shots, very good movement with the puck. Twirled back down around into the offensive zone for Peabody. 7:19 to go. In front, and nothing happening. Slapper from Garofoli, and I think it was just tipped wide off the pad of Hollingsworth. Good save, but a great shot by Garofoli. Using that long stick she has. She's one of the taller players on the ice. Shot! Buckley with the save. Methuen couldn't get her second. It's going to the corner, up high again. Here they come. Methuen pitching around up front somewhere. Forwards are staying mobile. Shot into the skate of Ganter. They lose track of it. And the Rangers nearly could have made it 2-0 if the forward, number 4, hadn't lost track of the puck. Pierce checking to the board. Methuen comes out of it. Sent out of the zone by Mirasolo. Back down the length of the ice, and this is going to be icing on Peabody. They'll bring it back down to the right of Abby Buckley, I believe. So a very nice rink here, the O'Brien rink in Woburn, Massachusetts. Also home of the Tanners. I'm guessing that the Woburn team's name is also the Tanners. Seems like a very obvious statement. I just heard that myself, folks. Not perfect. And anyway, this one is in the neutral zone. Good move around the defense. Sweeney shadowing as she blocks it with her skate. Trying to get it in front of the net. Buckley with the save. It's out and back behind the net they go again. Maybe just trying to clear. Taken away by, I believe it's Guerin. She's moving with some speed. Shot, and it is deflected off the blocker of Hollingsworth, and they're going to rule it went out of play into the netting over the net, over the glass, and we'll get a stoppage of play. Line changes made as we get a look at Sadie Guerin, one of, if not the most promising freshman on this team, an offensive defenseman with one of the best slap shots in the entire conference. We saw that put on for a show in the Carlin Cup. She scored, I believe, what may have been the 6th or 7th goal of the game with a wicked slap shot. Trying to dangle around behind, goes the forward for the Red Rangers. Back behind, Peabody will go. Garofoli to clear it. So for several of the Tanners, this could be the final game. Slapper! It trickled off her stick. Nothing happening there. As we hit 5.5 to go, Ganter to send it back down into the neutral zone they go. For several Tanners, this could be their final game in a Tanner uniform. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, folks. They want to live to fight another day. They want to go to the semifinals. And in interviews I had with Coach Michelle Roach before the playoffs, they said that she's made it very clear that one of her goals coming into this season was to, hear me here, folks, was to win the state tournament. Pretty lofty goals. But the way she has this team playing at the moment, I have no reason to suspect that that couldn't happen. I mean, they shocked, in my opinion, the entire MIAA, the entire conference, by knocking off the St. Mary's Spartans, a team that many predicted, from many fans that I asked, many predicted them to go on to win the state tournament. As we get an icing coming up here on Peabody, and we'll bring it back down to the right of Buckley. They took out a team that many expected to win the state tournament. That is an impressive feat right there, folks. Even if the Tanners don't get there this year, their record has gotten progressively better over the last 4 years. They started with 6 wins in Roach's first year, 9 her second, 11 her third, and they have 15 regular season wins this season. That is quite the turnaround for, as I said, a team that almost 4 years ago didn't exist. Robert coming out, trying to get it up ice. Sweeney just out of her reach as this was sent back by the Rangers, just trying to kill full time. And I think Sweeney takes a tumble into Buckley. And I think she was pushed into the goaltender. I think Peabody's going to get a power play out of this for goalie interference. So the vaunted Tanner power play, I think, is going to get a chance to operate here in the early going. And this is exactly what you need to get back into this game. You're down by 1. Late in the first period, this is the kind of this is the point where you need to start building momentum for later in the game as we bring it back down the length of the ice. Pierce, Mirasolo, and Thibodeau are out. Trying to clear the zone, barely kept it onside. Threw one around up front, score! My goodness gracious, it's Mirasolo picking up right where she left off against St. Mary's. And we have tied the game up at 1 with just over 4 minutes to go in the first. Sammy Mirasolo with her 3rd goal in 2 games. She picked up the final 2 versus St. Mary's earlier this week. She has tied the game up with 4:08 to go here in the first period.
That's Curley for interference, 4 minutes, 43 seconds.
It's a power play goal for the Tanners. Backhanded across, Buckley with the save. My word, that has fired up the Tanners. Shot from just in front. I think it may have been deflected wide by Ganter, helping out her goaltender. All right, Riley.
Peabody Linfield North Reading goal scored by number 8, Sammy Mirasolo.
Mirasolo will go as her 23rd goal on the season. 20 in the regular season, 2 in the second round for St. Mary's. She's tacked on the first goal for the Tanners and tied the game, and I think Buckley got a pat on it. Threw up front, couldn't get her stick down, was Masota. shot, and Buckley has it in her chest. She sure enough does. It's in her glove. This game's being brought to you by Peabody Access TV. You can find this game on our YouTube channel, Peabody, or find any Tanner girls ice hockey game or any Tanner sporting event. Really, if you think of any kind of major event from around Peabody, whether it be town hall meetings or PTA meetings potentially. Good save! Buckley got her pad on it. Good awareness to see through the screen and get her pad down. Think of any real event as they're moving in quickly. Tanner goes down. No call coming here. Trying to feed around behind, trying to wrap around. Buckley just slapping the stick out there. She lost her goalie stick, but she made the poke check save. Most Tanner games and any real local event in Peabody, Massachusetts can be found on the Peabody Access TV YouTube channel. If you want to go check out some of our games, you'll hear me doing Tanner Girls Ice Hockey for the majority of the last couple of years. Also, every athletic event, town hall, city meeting, anything of such nature, we usually cover said events. Or you can find them on Peabody Local Channel 8. That is the local access network for Peabody, Mass. As DeJulio working around behind, trying to serve up a DeJulio special, which is set up behind the net, go around up front, spin and shoot at the same time. It was sent off her stick, however. Here come the Rangers again as we get under 2 minutes to go here in the first. Sweeney down behind. Tanner's back to playing a little more conservative on offense, trying to play tight defense. Took advantage of the power play opportunity. Wouldn't be surprised if Roach kind of, in practice, may have told her team, like, take penalties. Try to, don't get involved. Glove save, Buckley. Rebound shot, and it went off the pad or the outside of the net. Or try to draw penalties. That's the phrase I'm looking for. Try to draw some penalties so we can take advantage because our power play can go to work easily. Buckley has to stretch out across the crease, and she covers it. Abby Buckley, proving why she's been the four-year starter for head coach Michelle Roach, why she has earned the right to start in this playoff tournament. In the corner, Garofoli trying to get it out, can't do it. Helped out there by Pierce, who will go shadow the defender. Up high, they work it. Gordon down low again. Thibodeau laying a hit. Thibodeau throwing the body around, something she specializes in. I compared her last year. Her NHL counterpart is Brad Marchand. Sticked off of the arm of Buckley. And up high and out of play. So Buckley, in what is her final season as the Tanner starter, the presumptive starter next season is going to be Jen Collins, number 30, the current junior backup. However, just because she's the backup doesn't mean she's not meant to be a starter, folks. I'm telling you, if she were anywhere else in the conference, she'd probably be the starting goaltender. She has 3 shutouts to her record, a perfect 6-0 record. Shot saved by Buckley. Garofoli to wrist it out. That's a perfect 6-0 record. Only gave up 6 goals on the season. He was the starter in the playoff clinching game versus the Waltham Hawks earlier in the season, which was a 4-1 victory for Peabody. Around up front, backhander from almost 6 inches away, and nothing happening there. Glove down out of the midair by the Rangers. Peabody just trying to clear. Get it out down the length of the ice as we hit 14 seconds to go. Hollingsworth will just give it out to her forward or her defender, trying to get one last quality offensive rush in. 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That will be the end of the first period from Woburn, Massachusetts. The Red Rangers capitalizing on an early goal by Julia Masota. However, the Tanner power play, one of the most vaunted power plays in the league, immediately ties the game up on the goal by Sammy Mirasolo. I am Bernard Parisi with Peabody Access TV. We will be bringing you more game time coverage in just a few moments. Once again, end of the first period. It's 1-1 in round 3. Welcome back inside the O'Brien Rink here in Woburn, Massachusetts. for this MIAA tournament matchup between the Peabody Linfield North Reading Tanners and the Tewksbury Methuen Red Rangers, two co-op teams taking on each other in round 3 of this 2018-19 playoff tournament to decide who will have the right to play at TD Garden for the state championship. However, the winner of this game will go to the state semis, and the two winners of those games will go on to play at TD Garden in Boston, Mass. Minnesota in on the face-off. The 44 goal scorer on the regular season for the Red Rangers has a goal tonight. He had a couple of goals in the first round, 6-2 playoff victory for the Red Rangers. Face-off is won by Tewksbury. Whirling through the defense, good awareness, and it just goes wide. Back up high, barely trying to keep it in. They cannot. Minnesota will backhand it along. They'll recoil to avoid an offside. Tanner is just trying to desperately clear the defensive zone of their goaltender, Abby Buckley. Once again, oh, and no! Oh, DiGiulio almost with a chance, couldn't corral it. It just dribbled off her stick.
How are they doing, do you know? Laurie and Dave, are they still here hair and all
In the corner, along the boards, big fight for the puck.
that? Are they still engaged?
Nothing happening. Going up high, shot goes wide. 14 minutes to go. A minute has elapsed in this second period of round 3. Out of the scrum comes Peabody. Robert trying to get it out of the zone, cannot clear. Shot from the point, and Buckley, I think she has it underneath, and she does. Whistle goes.
Who, you or her?
Abby Buckley keeping the Tanners in this game. Making some very good saves. They're cat-like reflexes almost. Pierce coming in on the draw for Peabody.
You know what? This is good or it's not. If it's not, then whatever, right?
As face-off is won by, I believe it was Peabody. Kind of a bit of a tie-up. Mirasolo race to get it. And that's going to be icing on Peabody as we take a look at Sammy Mirasolo, number 8, the 20-goal scorer and the offensive leader for the Tanners. 32 points on the regular season. A bit of a step back from her 41 last year, where she scored 26 goals and 15 assists. Won conference MVP. However, got to factor in the fact that she's playing on a line with two players who, well, they have a penchant for scoring goals as well. Maria Pierce and Paige Thibodeau. They've kind of bit into her totals a little bit. You know what? Hockey's a team game, folks. Speaking of Mirasolo, boomed off the puck. Nothing coming here. That should be a call of some kind. The officials missing a very crucial call in the early going of the second period. We got a whistle on a stoppage of play.
But, so did you tell her that you think she drinks too much? Or you just didn't like her?
No penalties coming up here on that play. My professional opinion, folks, is the refs really missed one and that the Rangers got away with one. Oh, man. Minnesota in on the face-off.
But yeah.
With Pierce.
There you go.
Thibodeau trying to capitalize, can't get it out, but Garofoli does. It's sent back down the length of the ice, and we have another icing on the Tanners.
I'm a social in a season.
And we'll bring it back down the other length of the ice.
And I'll be like, I'm going to go outside and skim my food and have a drink.
So Paige Thibodeau, number 25, the sophomore winger for the Tanners. 5 goals, 13 assists on the regular season. Very gritty forward. She's one of my favorite players on the Tanners. I'm a very old-style hockey fan. I like to see the players who are not afraid to go in and lay a hit, go into the corners where no one else really wants to go. So in that case, I guess you could say my favorite players on this Tanner bunch are Jess Robert, Kathy Giulio, and Paige Thibodeau. Very gritty forwards and two-way forwards that are not afraid to go and lay the hits in the middle. Shot, rebound. It went off of someone in front, but it will go around behind, and the Red Rangers will try to set up another offensive rush.
I guess, yeah, I don't know.
That just missed the net entirely.
You know what it is? Once the kids are out of school.
I was saying, I like the physical play in hockey. I think it's the way the game should be played. Shot, rebound, oh, almost tipped in by Minnesota.
Right.
Minnesota looking for her second of the game. Sent down to the ice by Pierce was Minnesota. Good clean play this evening. Now that is a clean hit right there, folks. And nope, we're gonna get a whistle stoppage. The whistle came as soon as the As Thibodeau touched the puck and I think Pierce is going to the box the next 2 minutes.
Oh, Maria's penalty. But
yeah. I'm not quite sure on that one. I personally think it was a clean hit. I think it's going to be cross-checking. I personally think it was a clean hit. However, up high, the Red Rangers will try to capitalize on a power play. 11:59 to go here in the second period. Playing tic-tac-toe with the defender, trying to backhand it around. Nothing coming here by the defender.
That's Pierce for checking.
Threw one around up front, and no one was there to tip it in.
And you know what? Good luck trying to get you a
Threw it around across the ice. Definitely trying to see through the screen. Tanner's trying to confuse the Red Rangers. Play some zone defense, I guess you could say. Threw it up front, and they score! Masota again! Julia Masota's second of the night. And it's 2-1. It's a power play goal for the Rangers. Make that 48 goals on the season for Julia Masota. 2-1 power play goal in the second period of round 3. Good setup by the Red Rangers, taking their time, just trying to find any kind of room. I think actually they were really trying to feed Masota. She's not, because when you have a 44 goal scorer on your roster, folks, you tend to try to get her the puck. It's clearly she's got the offensive skills. Only 21 games. Mirasola loses balance, or else I think she could have had an offensive chance. Front save, Hollingsworth. Good shot, but what a save. Just 2 feet away.
Get it up here. There you go, Sadie.
Guerin
To the middle.
through, no, I think she's trying to go around up front. Trying to fake like she was going behind, but she decides to, in the end, go behind as the Red Rangers moving quick. The Tanners trying to clear the zone as the Red Rangers make a line change. And it's sent back down behind Abby Buckley. 10:25 to go in the second period. Winthrop, I'm sorry, I said Winthrop. That was the Tanners round 1 opponent. I apologize. The Red Rangers, I'm not perfect, everyone. 2-on-1, shot! Good blocker save, rebound! Oh, it appears it got her stick down. She could have maybe got another shot on net. Player goes down along the boards. I will say right now, Thibodeau kind of got away with one there. That wasn't intentionally tripping, but however, she did get her stick under her skates. Garofoli takes a tumble into the board. She gets up rather quickly. Very tough physical player for the Tanners. Main physical threat on the Tanners, should I say. She's not afraid to lay a hit when it's warranted. As we're gonna see a power play coming up for Peabody. We got a Red Ranger in the box for the next 2 minutes, I believe. 5-on-4 coming up for the Tanners. Jess Robert in this time instead of Mirasolo and Thibodeau with Pierce. So this time it was Jessica Robert, the senior captain. 12 goals, 10 assists on the year. She has 2 goals in the playoffs to her credit. She scored the first 2 goals of the round 2 game versus the St. Mary's Spartans. The first goal proved to be the winner because, St. Mary's didn't score at all. And I've seen many St. Mary's players come to this game tonight to support their friends or maybe just to watch the game. I have seen goaltender Lauren Vaccaro for the St. Mary's Spartans. She, as a freshman, was a goaltender for the Tanners, and she transferred to St. Mary's and was their 3-year starter. Blossomed into one of the best goaltending prospects in the region. Cassidy running in the box. The next 2 minutes. Unsportsmanlike conduct. It's a penalty you don't really see that much in girls hockey, at least, folks. However, it's something that, as I've said before, it's a hard-hitting sport, and it's what the game is all about, folks. Hockey is a beautiful game, in my opinion. Perfect mix of suspense, fast-paced action, things could be going slow, then all of a sudden they pick up just like that. You never know. You never know what's going to happen, folks. You know, you think of like other sports like football, like you know where it's going. You can move forward, and that's about it. Hockey, you're just moving back and forth. So much fast-paced action. It's a game that requires years and years of skill and training to master. So you have to respect the art that these players are playing with. They've spent their lives training for these moments. And to this point, for the Tanners, this is the biggest game of their lives. To help you recognize the magnitude of this game for the Tanners. Almost every single player on this roster to this point, this is their biggest game of their lives. Jordan and Masota around the defense. Shot, and Masota has a hat trick. Short-handed goal. It's 3-1. Julia Masota with her 49th goal of the season, I believe. And it is 3-1, short-handed goal for the Red Rangers with 8:01 to go in the second period. Tanners really need to recoil, try to regroup a little bit. If not now, at least in the intermission. I wouldn't, if I were Michelle Roach, I would not use your timeout yet. You are not in dire straits yet. Say if the Masota goals came within a span of just a few seconds, then yes, I would consider using timeout. In the middle, trying to move around, it goes into a skate. Oh, and Flynn with the offensive chance, couldn't get her stick on the puck.
6 minutes, 59
Shot, I think it was blocked aside, but the net comes off its moorings. So therefore we get a stoppage. Julia Masota, I believe if I'm not mistaken, is going to be after she graduates this year, will be attending. I believe it's Norwich University. I think is what I was told, or I believe that's what I read, which is a D3 school for girls hockey. It is a private military school, believe it or not, folks. Very, very, very renowned private school, however, and also their D3 hockey program is known to be a national powerhouse. They have two D3 national championships to their record, one in 2011. And one, if I'm not mistaken, just last year in 2018. So, quite honestly, if she's going to go to... I was told by a fan earlier in the period that... or before the period began, that there's one or two Norwich players that are... Tewksbury Methuen players that are playing at Norwich who are very very big offensive threats. Who scored almost 50-plus goals during their tenures here with Tewksbury Methuen. So if she's going to go to a school to play college hockey, she's going to the right place. She's got the chemistry with her former teammates, and also she's got the school's reputation as a hockey power in Division III. Up front, what a save! Hollingsworth, my goodness, from almost 6 feet away. Good shot by Thibodeau, but amazing save there by Hollingsworth. Here they come, it's Thibodeau again, backhander, snuffed out, rebound into Julio, couldn't get there, just a split second too late. Oh, that would have been huge for the Tanners to bring them back to within one. There's Solo along the boards. The Tanners starting next season, at least on their top line with Flynn, DeJulio, and Robert. They're going to have a couple holes to fill as Pierce takes a tumble. No call coming here. Going to have a couple holes. The big holes to fill, really, for the Tanners are going to be in net in their two forward slots on that top line with DeJulio and Jess Robert. So the Tanners are probably going to be looking to recruit some new players next year. Intercepted, stolen away, and Flynn lost track of it. Kept it onside, but barely by the Tanners. So in net, Abby Buckley will be graduating. However, do not fret if you're a Tanner fan, folks. Jen Collins will be taking over in net as we get a stoppage of play. Buckley now to play into the Tanner bench. Jen Collins, 3 shutouts, and 6-0 on the season to her record. Only allowed 6 goals on the regular season. She is absolutely outstanding. I was calling games back when she was a sophomore, the sophomore backup to Abby Buckley. Yeah, and you could see even then that the flashes of brilliance. The game versus Waltham, folks. That game, I believe, is online. Go to that game on our PBD Access TV YouTube channel and try to find some of the saves that she made in that game. I said in the last game versus St. Mary's, the saves that Abby Buckley was making, I said take off the sweater and show us the red S on your chest, because you have to be Superman. In that, if she's Superman, then in that case, Collins has to be like Captain Marvel in net, with the ways that she's been playing this season. This one sent back down the length of the ice. 4:45 to go here in the second period. No offside call here. And here comes DeJulio trying to get a step. Can't do it, however. Not the fastest skater on the ice. However, she's one of the most skilled players on the ice. Great stick handling abilities, and she has a penchant for scoring timely goals, though. Seems like whenever the Tanners need a goal to either take the lead or really seal a victory, they put DeJulio out on the ice, and she works her magic. Now behind, it could be worked across, and no one was there for the Rangers to put it in the net. I said last year, I told her, I call her King Midas because, you know, the story of King Midas, everything he touches turns to gold. Well, we get a tumble here, and that's going to be, I think, Pierce going to the box for 2 minutes. No, it's just Robert going to the box, 2 minutes. The call is going to be tripping. It was incidental contact, really, but, you know, I can't really argue with the refs on that one. I mean, that's kind of up to the viewer's opinion. As I was saying before with DeJulio, I called her King Midas last year because, you know, if you know the story of him, the fairy tale, everything he touches turns to gold. Well, everything she seems to touch turns to goals, folks. 7 goals, and I believe she had 16 or 17 assists on the year. Shot! And it went just wide.
PBD Linfield North Reading. To number 28, Jessica Robert. Minor penalty for checking.
Minor penalty for tripping on Jessica Robert. Robert this season, 12 goals, 10 assists, had a hat trick in the annual Carlin Cup match between the Tanners and their rivals from crosstown in Peabody, the Bishop Fenwick Crusaders. Solo couldn't corral it through the skates, or else she had a shorthanded breakaway, which is really proven to be her specialty this season. Garofoli around behind now, trying to set it up. Minnesota just say now, give it back to the defender. Up high. Back across, down low, shot went wide. No forward was there to try to tip it in. 1:26 to go on the power play. Same play again, shot. And I think it was blocked by someone in front of the net. Here's Solo trying to get it. Down on her face goes a Red Ranger. We're going to see Mira Solo go off for 2 minutes. The call is going to be tripping, I believe. Once again, I have to disagree with the call. As an announcer, you have to remain impartial in this business, folks, and that is my unbiased opinion, wholeheartedly. I personally think this game would be a lot closer if the officials were making the correct calls. I mean, that may sound a little harsh to the viewer, but referees can affect the outcome of a game, folks. And right now, it really seems like that the refs are really affecting the set outcome. Buckley takes a shot to the chest on midair, and she loves it. It's a 5-on-3 for the next minute and 1 second. The phrase that I'm actually been hearing from some of the Tanner fans around me is the men in the striped shirts. It looks like the phrase that I'm hearing is a slapper goes up high. The phrase I'm hearing from some of the fans around me is it seems like the MIAA has hired actual zebras to work this game instead of the men in the zebra shirts. So you can put that in your hockey cliches book if you would to, folks. Learn all my hockey cliches from Kevin Mulhern, who I've had the privilege of working with the Tanner Boys ice hockey team. He's the longtime boys announcer. We're out up front, and nothing happening there. Back down the length of the ice. The Tanners trying to kill off this 5-on-3. Get at least one skater back. Racing up ice they come again. 2:05 to go. 5 seconds to go on the 5-on-3 power, or yeah, the 5-on-3. Roberts out of the box. Mirasolo's still in, so it's back to 5-on-4. 3-1 here in the second period. The Vikings taking their time. And the Tanners clear it. Back down the length of the ice. And power plays when you're shorthanded and you have to clear the puck does not count as icing. Player goes down. Robert will try to shadow the defender. Scored 2 of the most beautiful goals I've seen last round versus St. Mary's, both on a breakaway and on the over the shoulder of Lauren Vaccaro. One on a backhanded breakaway shot. That was one of the best goals I've seen all year. Any goal really that I've seen as Buckley, I think she has it underneath. Seems like a couple of the goals she scored this year should belong on highlight reels. My pick for Tanner goal of the year was a goal she scored against Waltham at home in the game that clinched their playoff berth. I think she actually got the shot away, I think with one hand on her stick. I think she had a hand kind of being checked by the forward. Was able to get the shot away on a backhander with one arm. And it's right off the straw, taken away. Here comes Robert. Actually, that's Thibodeau, number 25. Loses it, and they have to recoil again. Hitting just over a minute to go here in the second period. 3-1 are the Tanners. They'd like to get a goal. Mirasolo still in the way. Sammy goes down, and we're going to get a call here on the Red Rangers. So the Tanner power play will get a chance to go to work here in the late going of the second period of round 3. Paul is going to be tripping. Both teams really playing a little bit physical. Actually, both teams really all considering are not playing the most physical games ever. A lot can be attributed to the fact that the officials, in my professional opinion, seem to be calling some calls that maybe shouldn't be called. Same can be said for their calls versus the Red Rangers. Some of their one or two of their calls may be a little ticky-tacky.
Methuen-Tewksbury
Trying to get it in front of them. The Tanners make their living. 30 goals right up front.
penalty for tripping. That's so slip for tripping at 14 minutes, 9
Crease.
seconds.
Nothing happening there. In terms of size, they're much smaller than the Red Rangers. So we get a stoppage of play. I think it's going to be offside on Peabody, if I'm not mistaken. 32.2 to go here in the second period from Woburn, Mass. And no, not quite. If they're going to bring the faceoff down here, I'm not quite sure why they blew the whistle. Back up high. Shot! And it went wide. Rebounds, and it will be blocked aside off the outside of the net. Holding. Pierce through the defense. Shot goes up high. Hollingsworth will just rip it out of midair, get a stoppage of play. So we're nearing the end of the second period. If you haven't already, folks, go to PBD Access TV's YouTube channel and check out the first 2 playoff games. The playoff victories for the Peabody Tanners versus Winthrop and St. Mary's. Scored combined 6 goals in the 2 games. Did not allow a goal in those 2 games. That has changed as the Red Rangers have done what no team this tournament has been able to do, and that is put the puck past Abby Buckley. Not once, not twice, but thrice. Shooting. Nope, no shot coming here. As the final whistle goes, or the final buzzer goes in the second period. Tanners go to the locker room, down 3-1. Julia Masota scoring the first 3 goals of the game for the Tewksbury Methuen Red Rangers. She has a hat trick. Going into the third, Red Rangers will try to extend their lead. The Tanners will try to tie it. 15 minutes will decide who will go to play in the state semis. I'm Bernard Parisi with PAT, and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 15 minutes away from seeing who will go on to play in the state semifinals. Who will play in the semifinals will play for the right to go to TD Garden to play in the Women's Division I MIAA championship game. Take a look at the Tanners on their bench, down 3-1 coming into this period, taking a couple rough penalties throughout the second period. And take a look at the Red Rangers scoring 2 more times off the stick of Julia Masota once again. She has the hat trick already. First 3 goals of the game. We have seen such an occurrence happen this year with the Tanners where a player has scored the first 3 goals of the game. That was during the last game of the regular season versus Haverhill, I believe it was Haverhill, Pentuxet, North Andover. HPNA for short. Mirasolo, Sammy Mirasolo, number 8, scored the first 3 goals of the game. 15 minutes will decide who goes on to round 4. Puck dropped. Tanners win it. Garofoli, it looks like they're coming out of the gates playing with a little bit more intensity than they were last period. Into the zone they go. Mirasolo down to chase it. She has it on her stick. We'll just backhand it around behind. Guerin will try to set something up. She'll backhand it back down. Mirasolo trying to get it. Different D pairing. We got Guerin out with Garofoli instead of Sweeney. Here they come into a skate. Garofoli is just able to kick it out. Here comes Mirasolo, one-on-one with the defender. Goes to the outside, goes back inside, and nothing happening here. It's sticked off her blade. 14-19 to go in regulation. This is playoffs, so if the Tanners come back and tie this thing, this could go to overtime, folks. Flynn. And behind they go. Can't be sent out by the Rangers. Tanners will try to keep it in onside. They cannot. Garofoli will set it up. Garofoli's kind of the de facto veteran on defense now. She's the oldest player on the Tanner defense corps after Mae Norton and Katie Purcell graduated last year. They, and along with Garofoli and Riley Ganter, formed the core defense pairings. Ganter now a sophomore, Garofoli the junior, playing with 2 very talented defenders. Going around in front off of a stick of Garofoli again. Freshman defenders who are likely going to be the starters for the future next 3 years are Guerin and Sweeney. Right up front, Buckley just hugging the post, trying to keep it out of the net. Garofoli loses it. Threw it up high. Shooting, bouncing, rebound, and there's a big pile for the puck. And it trickles in off the stick of a Red Ranger. I think the Tanners thought that they had the puck underneath. But the Red Rangers find its way through. It's 4-1 here in the 3rd period. Commanding 4-1 lead in favor of the Methuen-Tewksbury Red Rangers. With 13-13 to go in regulation. 13-13 really should be considered an omen, many people might consider an omen. 2 13s on the clock. 13 is not a lucky number to a lot of people.
Methuen-Tewksbury goal scored by number 20, Carolyn Curley. Assisted by number 11, Jessica Driscoll.
Roster sheet with
Number 2, Ryan Quinn.
if I have messed up the names. Buckley save, rebound, and Minnesota try to get it. Tanner's just trying to get anything going here to try to spark a comeback of sorts, and we have an icing coming up here on Peabody. You have seen, if you're a Boston Bruins fan, you do know that a comeback from down 4-1 is very possible. If you remember, Game 3 of the 2013 Eastern Conference quarterfinals with the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Bruins came down from 4-1 with 11 minutes to go as Buckley is able to pad one aside, almost trickled in. Good save by Abby Buckley. She will not go down without a fight, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it in. They do. Tipped on net. Nothing happening here. 12:15 to go in the regulation period. Sweeney keeps it in, sends it down. Can't get it on net, however. Here comes the Red Rangers. Shot saved by Buckley.
Yeah. We're still playing. Yeah. That's awesome.
In the corner go the Tanners, trying to get it out of their own zone. Into the neutral zone, big tie-up, big fight for the puck. Tanners come out with it. They give it up center ice. Can't corral it with Mirasolo. Here come the Red Rangers, and on net, Buckley with a remarkable save. My word, what a save. She will not go down without a fight, ladies and gentlemen. Sticks collide along the glass in front of our camera post. That ought to make for a good soundbite. Shot. It's deflected off of a skate. Here come the Red Rangers. Threw around up front and is sticked away by Paige Thibodeau. Luckily, next year the core will be intact for the Tanners. Only losing in key spots, at least, key starting positions. Only 3 players. That will be, if I'm not mistaken, Julio, Robert, Abby Buckley will be the 3 main starters that they'll be losing after this season. They'll also be losing senior captain Charlotte Grant. So Roach will have 3 slots to fill. Knowing her eye for talent, filling up the winger slots on the top line should be relatively easy, but to find another backup goaltender may be a bit of a challenge. They have Audrey Buckley, though. We haven't seen her play, so we can't really say that, we can't really attest to her talent. I'm guessing if she made a Michelle Roach-led team, she must have considerable athletic ability in net. So she may be the backup starting next year, mentoring under Jen Collins and Abby Buckley. Audrey Buckley, number 1 of the Tanners, as we got a stoppage of play. Ball's gonna be tripping on the Tanners. I didn't see it. That's not me saying I don't agree with the call. I just flat out didn't see anything happen, folks. I was more focused up ice. So power play coming up for the Red Rangers, trying to extend their ever-growing lead here in round 3 against the Peabody Tanners. This co-op squad has defied all expectations this season. 15 games, including 2 playoff games. Shot, and it went in. It's 5-1. Methuen-Tewksbury. Point shot found its way through. I hate to say it, folks, but it is quickly turning into a blowout here in the late going. Barring any catastrophic collapse by the Red Rangers, the Tanner season may very well be coming to an end here tonight in Woburn, Mass. We're under 10 minutes to go. We got 9:47 showing on the game clock. Thibodeau trying to...
Methuen-Tewksbury goal scored by number 7, Brendan Green. Assisted by number 4, Cassidy Running. And number 19, Julia
Behind go the Red Rangers to try to set something up.
Green from Running and Minnesota.
Race to get the puck. Ganty will go down to retrieve it, but nope, she'll give way to Garofoli, who will decide to take it herself. Here come the Red Rangers again, and Peabody just looking to clear it out of the zone. Mirasolo trying to get a breakaway. And we got a stoppage of play. I think it's going to be an offside on the Red Rangers. Let's take a look at Abigail Buckley. She's given up 5 goals this game so far. Roach wants her, doesn't want to. If she were any grade besides senior, this might be the point in the game where any coach might consider pulling their goaltender, putting it back up in. Shot, score! It's Methuen-Tewksbury again. 6-1 here in the 3rd period of round 3. Just piling it on now. If she were any other grade, Roach might consider putting Collins in net. However, I completely emphasize with the fact she wants her senior to be out for her final game, and no one wants to get. If you're a goaltender, the worst thing that could ever happen to you is to get pulled from the game. And what could very well be and what is shaping up to be after
number 7, Green. That's Running from Green at 6 minutes, 5 seconds.
As on a personal note, as a Tanner fan growing up, I went to Peabody High School to see this potentially be the end of careers for several very good seniors, very nice people too. Had the chance to work with them in practice and do player interviews and get all my game updates from them, like Jess Robert, Kat DiGiulio, Abby Buckley. To see their careers end on this note, for any hockey fan, regardless if you're a Tanner fan or not, has to be has to make you feel kind of sad for them. as Buckley just gloves it out underneath, and late whistle coming as they didn't know whether she was going to freeze the puck.
I want to say, yeah. They're really good.
Now you play the rest. How do you play the rest of the game? You keep your heads held high, and you fight till the very end. It's never over until it's over. Show that even when you're down, you're not out.
So we did, and
Down
after we
behind
did,
the net, Buckley will move from left to right. So we're just trying to clear the zone. Peabody just trying to maybe just get one more goal to try to bring them back a little bit closer, make the game a little bit more respectable. So since that first period goal by Sammy Mirasolo to tie the game up in the late going of the first, we got a power play coming up for Peabody, as a matter of fact. After that first goal by Mirasolo, or the first period, it's been just downhill for the Tanners. The ice has been heavily tilted in the Red Rangers' favor. Both teams are incredibly skilled squads. I think they're very much on par, but there are a couple of contributing factors into this game that have led to the Red Rangers taking a very commanding 6-1 lead. One, and I think most fans here would agree, and I talked with a couple fans in the intermission and from both sides, and they both agree that the refs are that they believe the officials are affecting them. Also, Tanners, they are working extremely hard. A shot, and it was deflected by Hollingsworth. They're working extremely hard to try to stay in this game, but I just think at this point the Red Rangers are just they're kind of outworking them at this point. They're moving the puck faster, they're bigger. They have a definite size advantage over the Tanners. There's no question about that. As the Peabody Tanners trying to capitalize, Thibodeau into the boards, keeps it in onside, fed it across, Mirasolo shot. I think it went into a skate before it got through to Hollingsworth. Another shot by Pierce goes wide. That's some heat behind it. And Garofoli keeps it in. Shot from the point. Saved by Hollingsworth. 6:45 to go in regulation and potentially the Tanner season. Buckley goes around behind to play it. Garofoli will look to set something up. Gives it over to Mirasolo.
stop. Do you really? Stop.
Well, when we get together,
And this one banked off the boards nearest to the fan section. This fan section is still filled to maximum capacity. I'm impressed, folks. It's always great to see so many friends, family, or of any relation to these players come out and support their team. Good shot by Guerin, but you could hear that hit the glove of Hollingsworth from down here, so that thing had some heat behind it. A factoid about Sadie Guerin, she possesses one of the best slap shots in the entire conference, folks. Talking with her, we're working on a documentary on the Tanner season here at PBD Access TV. In an interview with her, she attributes her terrific slap shot to the fact she plays field hockey. She's been able to work on that slap shot by playing women's field hockey this season. I guess it was her first year at in high school. Shot! Oh, it just barely found a pad of Hollingsworth. And behind. The Rangers get there first. Corner they go. I apologize if I don't speak as much now. My voice is really starting to go from the goal calls at the moment, and I don't have a water with me present. Here come the Red Rangers. Tipped off the stick of Catherine DiGiulio. Back goes Guerin. Good slapper to clear the zone, and she does, I believe, no, she does not, as the Red Rangers will try to recoil. Flynn will send it down the length of the ice to clear it, make a couple changes. Here, Solo's on with Thibodeau, and Jess Robert, actually. 4:50 to go here in regulation. Cantor. Here's Solo, has a little room to work, and she couldn't get to the puck in time to get a shot on net. Behind now, she works with it. She's going to throw one across. Teams trying to get a little creative with their offensive pressure. 4:20 to go here in the regulation period, ladies and gentlemen. Maria Pierce up high, shoots it on net. I think it went wide. Hollingsworth just moved from right to left to try to get a glove on it. Does not. Here comes Peabody, trying to clear the zone once again. Off the end boards. Under 4 minutes to go here in round 3. The winner will go to play in the women's Division I semifinals.
The other one's
Shot, and Hollingsworth gets her pad on it. Almost didn't see it coming. Feed across. Good deflection by Jess Robert, one of the best two-way forwards in the league. Two-way forwards that play are equally as good at defense as they are on offense. Hollingsworth will glove it down, trying to squeeze it out of midair. She loses it. It's around behind, along the boards now. Catherine Sweeney. Down low to Jen Flynn. Holds. Is up high. And now the Red Rangers moving up ice. Into the zone they come. Fed it across. Rebound. Buckley making the save. Abby Buckley still flashing the glove. Brewing around up front. No save. Rebound. And Minnesota has her 4th on the night. Julia Minnesota just keeps tacking them on. That's what I believe will be, if I'm not mistaken, her, I'll do the math here. She scored twice last round. That's 46. That will be her 50th goal of the season.
That's 4 goals for her.
It will be Sarah O'Terry led bunch. Head coach O'Terry of the Red Rangers. She has to be happy with the way her team. They have scored 13 goals now in their last 2 playoff games.
I was actually, my plan was to
Someone who's a lack of better phrase, a hockey traditionalist, and I like seeing play. Let the kids play kind of style. For lack of a better phrase, I don't quite agree with the Red Rangers really just continually piling up the score. When they had the 5-1 lead late in the game, that should have really been enough. But you know, some coaches get in the mindset once you get them down, don't let them up. That must be the O'Terry mindset. But in any case, it's 7-1. I personally don't exactly agree with the piling up of the score. However, well, that's the game that we know and love so much, folks. As Guerin tries to let go of a slap shot, nothing happening there. Cleared down onto the ice with 1:44 to go. It's going to be icing on the Red Rangers. Bring it back down to the right of Hollingsworth.
someone else is ready to buy my car, and I get out. Because it goes right to auction.
Julio going behind, trying to set up in front of the net. Maybe get one more. Try to go home with a good feeling. And fought till the very end. That's what these Tanners really, I think, have done. If you look at the way they're playing, they really have fought until the very end. Regardless of whether they're down by 1 or they're down by 6, they continue to fight and battle, showing just remarkable resilience. Backhander from DeJulio. Shut up! Rebound! Hollingsworth has to sprawl out and get it. DeJulio trying to backhand it in, but cannot. So regardless of if you're a fan of the Tanners or not, I have to feel for this team. This will go down in history, this bunch, as to date the best Tanner squad ever assembled in terms of record and skill, folks. 11 wins last year, tournament berth, 9 the year before in a tournament berth, 6 the year before in head coach Michelle Roach's first year, no berth obviously with 6 wins. I think there were 6
1 minute
2
remaining
in the
in the period.
1 minute to go in regulation. Shot. And Solo can't get her stick down. The way that they have turned this team around in the past 4 years is stuff of legend, ladies and gentlemen. My hats off to head coach Michelle Roach. As this shot from Ganter had some steam behind it, and Hollingsworth has to go down and cover. Roach forever has my everlasting respect for the way that she turned around the beloved Peabody Tanners of Peabody, Massachusetts, taking a team that I think went 18-2 the year before she arrived, or maybe won. I think they won a couple games the year before she arrived, and but she was able to turn them around and make them a playoff contender within a couple of years. 33 ticks to go. The Rangers moving up ice again quickly, as if they're trying to tack on an 8th goal in the game, trying to make a statement going forward. Shot on net, weak shot. Buckley will just pat it underneath as we have about 20 seconds to go in regulation. 20.8 left. Draw DeGiulio with one last rush. 15 seconds to go. 10 seconds left to go. 5 seconds left to go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Methuen-Tewksbury Red Rangers will advance to the state semifinals again for the 2nd year in a row. As they mob Kaya Hollingsworth in her net behind a 7-1 victory. As we get a look at the Peabody Tanner season will come to a tragic end here in Woburn, Massachusetts. They fought until the very end, ladies and gentlemen. These players have my respect forever. This is undoubtedly the best Tanner bunch that has ever been put onto an ice surface in team history, and they will do not doubt them whatsoever. They will be back. They will be as good as ever. And the way that the records have improved over the past couple of years, I have no reason to believe that they won't be back here next year. For the final time this season, I am Bernard Parisi with Peabody Access TV. It's been a pleasure to call these games for the Tanner Girls Ice Hockey team and working with the team for the past 2 years. Hopefully I'll be back next season with more Tanner Girls Ice Hockey action right here on Peabody Access TV. Once again, the final from Woburn, Mass. Tewksbury Methuen 7, the Tanners 1. We'll see you next season, ladies and gentlemen.